I call the Creve Coeur School District 76 Board of Education is now called to order. Roll call, please.
Linda Bailey.
Here.
Pam Greiner.
Here.
Brenda Cagle.
Here.
Val Reagan.
Here. Could you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next is a canvassing of the votes. The votes were canvassed and compiled by the Tazewell County Clerk's Office and have declared that Randy Giddens Sr. with 218 votes, Catherine Reagan with 239 votes, Catherine Bohm Tyler with 202 votes have been elected to a 4-year term and are to be seated as board members of Creve Coeur School District 76. Could you please stand, the 4 of you, and come up here? Yeah. Could the 4 of you please come forward? And we will administer the oath. Three. Sorry. Needed a standby. So where do you want to stand? Right here.
Madam President, you have a copy? Good.
Okay. Where it has a blank, you'll put your name and then repeat after me, okay?
Okay. We raise our hands.
Yeah, you raise your hands. Okay, I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of Board of Education of Creve Coeur School District 76 in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois to the best of my ability.
I, Randy Giddens, do solemnly swear to affirm that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education of Creve Coeur School District 76 in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois to the best of my ability.
I further swear that I shall respect taxpayers' interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets.
I further swear that I shall respect taxpayers' interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets.
I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board, while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual and the decisions can be made only by majority of vote at a public board meeting.
I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual, and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at the public board meeting.
And I shall abide by majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels.
And I shall abide by majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels.
Congratulations, board members.
Congratulations. Don't go for my hand straight through. Whoa, it's gonna want you.
Anywhere you want.
Relate your name with flying.
Thank you.
Welcome. Congratulations. Welcome to our new board members.
Is there anyone wishing to address the board at this time? If so, would you please stand and state your name?
My name is Keith McCardle. I'd like to speak to the agenda item regarding the superintendent's contract. I've had the opportunity to observe the business of the school district for the last 3 years, and I'd like to comment on some of my observations. As CEO of a social service agency, I'm often faced with tough decisions due to state funding issues. I would assume that the proposed contract with the superintendent includes a raise like the contract last year did. I would never accept a raise as CEO unless I would be able to afford a raise for all of my staff. My understanding is support staff does not receive a raise for this year from the last contract. The community deserves better. Another observation, I was watching the video of a board meeting a while back where the superintendent was discussing ISAT results and NCLB, and then referred to the process as being retarded. He then went on to say, I meant stupid. As someone who works with individuals with intellectual disabilities, I was offended by his insensitive comment. The community deserves better. Then, of course, there was a school board meeting where the superintendent cursed in front of everyone, including the student in the audience. The community deserves better. The superintendent knew he inherited a divided board. He had an opportunity to help mend fences and build board cohesion. He instead, in my opinion, took advantage of the division to further advance his own agenda and build his resume. His Exhibit A was his attempt to outsource custodians before he even completed his first year. The community deserves better. This community deserves a strong leader in the superintendent's position. The meeting last Tuesday speaks volumes to his lack of leadership and inability to move this district forward. As superintendent and an attorney with a background in school law, he should have been able to advise the board president on how to move the meeting forward. Taking his contract off the agenda was one way to do this. Matter of fact, there were audience members that even suggested this. The community deserves better. I read a quote in the Journal Star today from the previous board president who said, the old board hoped to bring continuity and a stable administration for a few years. The recent school board election, in my opinion, was a referendum on the performance of the superintendent during the last 2 years. The community wants change. I believe they gave the superintendent a failing grade. The community does not want things to continue the way they have, contrary to what the former board president stated. This means a change has to take place in the administration. The community deserves better and can do better. Please do not rush into extending the superintendent's contract. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, my name is Don Bachler. I'd like to congratulate the new elected school board members. Congratulations. I hope the school board can work together in a very positive way. This is a good school district. Since 2010, the Creve Coeur School Board has had much turmoil and negative image. I hope that you can work forward to making this a good school district like it was in the past. Board members, you have lots of work ahead of you. Good luck. Enough said by me. I always say I'm long-winded, so good luck to you all.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the board? Okay. This time we're going to reorganize and election of a new school board president. Nominations are now in order for the office of president. Are there any nominations? I nominate Linda Bailey. Yeah, I want a second.
I second that.
Linda Bailey is nominated. Are there any other nominations for the office of president? Are there any further nominations for the office of president?
Yes. Karen Dodd, and I'd like to nominate you as president.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for that vote, but I'm going to decline it. Thank you. If there's no other further nominations, nominations for the office of president are closed. Show of hands for the president, Linda Bailey for president of the board. Roll call, please.
Linda Bailey,
Aye.
Randy Giddens,
Aye.
Pam Griner,
Aye.
Brenda Cagle,
Aye.
Catherine Reagan,
Aye.
Val Reagan,
Aye.
Savannah Tyler Bowen.
Aye. Motion to approve,
carried.
motion to approve election of Linda Bailey as school board president. Linda, let's trade places. Thank you.
Moving on, we need nominations are now in order for the office of vice president. Are there any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Val Reagan.
Okay, Val Reagan is nominated. Are there any other nominations for the office of vice president?
Second.
Don't have to. Are there any further nominations for the office of vice president? Okay. If there are no other nominations, then I need a show of hands for Val Reagan for the vice president of the board. Need a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve the election of Val Reagan for school board vice president.
I second it.
Roll call, please.
Linda Bailey,
Aye.
Randy Giddens,
Aye.
Pam Griner,
Aye.
Brenda Cagle,
Aye.
Catherine Reagan,
Aye.
Val Reagan,
Aye.
Savannah Tyler Bowen.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, we need a motion to elect a school board secretary. Are there any nominations?
Yeah. I nominate Pam Griner for school board secretary.
Second.
Are there any other nominations for school board secretary? If there are no further nominations, then nominations for the office of secretary are closed. And we need a motion, please. Oh, we need hands first, sorry. Show of hands. And we need a motion, please.
I make a motion to nominate Pam Griner as school board secretary. I second.
Elect. This is right. Can we change that to elect?
Yes.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Linda Bailey,
Aye.
Randy Giddens,
Aye.
Pam Griner,
Aye.
Brenda Cagle,
Aye.
Catherine Reagan,
Aye.
Val Reagan,
Aye.
Savannah Tyler Bowen.
Aye.
Motion carried.
At this time, Mrs. Griner, would you continue to do roll call, please, in the correct order?
Yes.
Okay, next on our agenda is the appointment of the school treasurer.
Motion, oh, sorry.
I'll make the motion to reappoint Kyle King as the school treasurer.
Second.
Any discussion? He's been our treasurer for what, 2 years now?
Yes, ma'am. Since Mr. Mamer had retired from the position.
I just follow the term as this appointment board, 1 year, 2 year, and what cost is we have to explain that.
It's 2 years.
2 years.
Next board.
Do we have a, I haven't had a chance to see anything.
Normally, it's a 2-year period. That's not saying that we couldn't change within the year, I'm sure.
Russell disclose that,
Disclose
the
the term.
terms and all that, so the public knows what we're voting on, other than just a name.
I will amend my motion to add for a 2-year term.
And it could be at a rate of $500, which is what we paid annually to Mr. King for the provision of his services, if so necessary.
Put that in the motion also, Randy?
Then the public knows what we voted on. As long as we have discussion, I think so.
Okay.
Attorney General says. So people don't.
Because that rate may go up. I hate to lock us in a certain amount for 2 years. We don't know that for sure.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please. Mrs. Griner.
Mr. Giddens?
Aye.
Mrs. Cagle? Aye. Ms. Catherine Reagan?
Aye.
Mrs. Val Reagan?
Aye.
Mrs. Savannah Tyler?
Aye.
Mrs. Griner? Aye. Mrs. Bailey?
Aye. Motion carried. And we need a motion regarding the meeting days, time, and location.
Do we keep it on the 1st and 3rd until after June 30th? The school ended?
Mr. Aldridge. The board has to reestablish them in July, correct?
That is correct.
So is
So
this-
As of July 1st, you would need to have your annual calendar established.
I'd like to make the motion to establish the Board of Education meetings on the first and third Tuesday of each month at 6:00 p.m. at LaSalle School until the renovations are completed at the Litchfield building.
Discussion.
If we change this, we have to give a 10-day notice in the paper
Right.
to comply with the Open Meeting Act. So I would suggest we keep it the same until we can take action.
Yeah.
Mr. Giddens?
Aye.
Mrs. Cagle? Ms. Catherine Reagan?
Aye.
Mrs. Val Reagan?
Aye.
Mrs. Savannah Tyler?
Aye.
Mrs. Griner? Aye. Mrs. Bailey?
Aye. Motion carried. Results driven. Mr. Aldridge?
Yes, new board members were supplied with their board packet as they were elected. So, going through this, you'll find a page that has on one side Parkview, Mr. Jokish, and one side LaSalle, Mr. McCormick. These packets are left over for business from last month, so we'll be starting on, not really a page number, but it says Superintendent's Awesome Results, Architect Memorandum of Understanding. So it kind of looks like this. It's in front of the, yep, keep going. One page, one more page, one page, there you go, right there. No problem. It takes a bit to get used to, so. What we have is our first document is a letter from Larry Wachweidel, who is our architect. This is a memorandum of understanding that he put together. It's an enclosed letter, outlines his understanding of the meeting that he attended regarding the Litchfield building. And you can see that he pointed out the 7 different revisions that were discussed at that board meeting and put into effect. So he just wanted to make sure that the Board of Education members did see that he took all of your suggestions, comments, and revisions into account and just memorialized them so that you knew what was going on. So that's all that is, just an informational item that we will be moving forward. We can't start any kind of construction until school is out, June 1st, obviously. But Mr. Wachweidel shall have the bid specifications and the construction plans here within this month for us to take a look at. And if anything does require public bidding, then we'll go through that process as well. So, just as a reminder, this is a renovation, it's not a new construction. So public bidding requirement is, requirement is $50,000, not $25,000, which is for any kind of new construction. So that's the base level that we would be looking at. Anything that would cost more than $50,000 will have to be bid out publicly. Anything less than that, we can take care of through a process of request for proposals to get low bidders, or vendors, so to speak. Next, Tazewell Health Department tutoring program cuts. It's unfortunate, but on April 6th, I received a letter from Ms. Ely, the director of the school division of the Tazewell County Health Department, relaying to me that the Teen Reach funds from the Illinois Department of Human Services were being cut through the governor's new budget proposals. And as of Friday, April 17th, the tutoring program that took place at Parkview on the after-school program was to terminate. Okay, the program being such a needed and necessary for our students' achievement, we decided to fund the remaining portion of that program through our Title I funding to put this together and keep this through the end of the school year at least. So we'll see what the new budget holds, because obviously the Illinois Department of Human Services is not the only state agency that is undergoing budget restrictions, and it was sent to all superintendents of schools that we should anticipate a 2.15% reduction in our general state aid to begin with. So we're going to start the year at least 2% less than what we should receive from the State Board of Education, the state of Illinois, and even that is at a prorated amount anyway. So we can just assume that there's less state funding coming our way, and we'll need to make accounts for that as the budget process moves forward. So I just wanted to let everyone know that there's been no change in the services. Kids didn't know anything was happening. It just continued on. So that program is intact. The Summer Principals Association meeting, Educational Leaders Summer Conference in June up in Lisle. This is a conference for for principals and assistant principals to go and learn about what's happening in education. Well, two of our own were asked to present at this prestigious conference, and if I can find it, here it is, under the title, 1 hour concurrent sessions, about 2/3 of the way down, 1:35 p.m. to 2:35 p.m. There is a session entitled Writing in Science to Meet Diverse Needs with New Illinois Science Standards. Jeff Kleesner, 7-8 science teacher, Parkview Middle School, Creve Coeur, Illinois. And he's accompanied by Mr. Jokic, principal of Parkview Middle School, Creve Coeur School District. So this is a prestigious honor for us. Mr. Kleesner gave us a preview of this last Friday in our SIP day. He conducted a mini lesson for some of our primary teachers on how to bring science into their classrooms on a daily basis, and that it doesn't have to be real scary science stuff, but there are things that can actually happen and is easy enough to take care of and show our students in our classrooms. So he has been disseminating his knowledge, and it's nice to see that one of ours is meeting this distinguished honor. Recognition of Silver Apple Award recipient, and that should be pluralized. Recipients. Is that correct? All right. We should have 3. Ms. Smallberger, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is Ms. Oh, I'm sorry.
Cindy Tobias.
Ms. Tobias.
Jerry Dalton.
Mrs. Dalton.
Diane Coe.
And Diane Coe. Are they here this evening? Stand up, Ms. Coe. And congratulations. My problem, Diane, is I don't know what the Silver Apple Award is. So can you enlighten me on that?
Well, it's an award that's given to a teacher that exemplifies hard work, excellence in teaching to the extent that, I'm able to do that. So that's in a nutshell, I guess.
Okay, well, very good. And Patty, can you elaborate on the support staff?
It's through the IEA, the Illinois Education Association, the union, and it was given to Cindy. Cindy's worked for the school district for 25 years as a certified aide, and she's also worked, she's on the board of Head Start. She's been on that board for 20 plus years. And then to Mrs. Dalton, she's drove a bus for us for 35 years and has been on the support staff board since the day we organized, and has been the secretary and the grievance chair that whole entire time.
Very good. Thank you. That is all I have, Madam President.
Okay, moving on, we have a consent agenda. Need a motion, please?
Make the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Second.
Is there anyone wishing to remove anything from the consent agenda? Questions?
Just so we know, just so maybe the new board members know, and may not know, Ms. Bailey, that there's information in here that are the bills, payment of bills lists. There are, you'll see this on a monthly basis, student activity fund reports from both schools. You will see board meeting minutes from the minutes previous, and you'll receive a treasurer's report. Those are all in the consent agenda. The issue tonight is that none of the newly seated board members were a part of the board meeting minutes that are in this this book, or in the packet. So if anyone feels uncomfortable, I would suggest that if you're not comfortable with anything that was in the board meeting minutes, or just voting in general, that you abstain or vote no, however your conscience may guide you. Just as you don't have to vote on something you didn't have any kind of discussion or information about previously.
Mrs. Bailey, just so everybody knows, I'm going to be abstaining because I wasn't part of this, and I have not had a chance to read any of it. But also, being open, wanting to be open to the public is what we're voting on. I'd like to know which minutes this payment list is for which month and for these reports. So if somebody wants to look at our minutes and say, what did we approve? They would know we approved these minutes. We approved this payment list. So there is no guessing from anybody in the community as to what we just voted on.
So this board may choose to take away the consent agenda and vote on each individual item? Not tonight, but...
Tonight maybe, but in the future, if we could identify, so I think we're supposed to, in the motion, just, I don't know, that Open Meetings Act's a funny thing with the Attorney Generals. The public's supposed to know what we're voting on, and if we don't disclose it, then somebody can say, well, the board's not disclosing what they are voting on. I know the purpose of the consent agenda, we always used it. I think it used to be on the minutes, on the agenda, I'm sorry, but me reading some opinions, and you know I've read some lately, they're saying that even the audience, if they did not see the agenda, before they came here, they should know what we voted on at the meeting. So that there's...
I can give dates with each.
Yeah, just the dates, so everybody knows what we're approving. Because I actually don't even know what minutes you're approving, or...
I'll give the dates. Motion to approve the consent agenda, approving for payments list for April 22nd, 2015, the month of April 2015. Approval of student activity fund reports for LaSalle and Parkview for the month of March 2015. Approval of the board minutes for March 17, 2015 meeting, and approval of the treasurer's report through February 28, 2015.
Mrs. Reagan,
Executive.
on LaSalle's activity, it's also February.
Oh, sorry. February and March in LaSalle.
So you have amended your motion
Yes.
to include,
Yes. Dates.
And on the minutes, pardon, did you get the dates on the minutes already?
Yeah, it was March 17th.
do you have a second on that amended motion?
Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Giddens.
Aye.
Mrs. Cagle.
Aye.
Ms. Catherine Reagan.
I abstain.
Mrs. Val Reagan.
Aye.
Mrs. Savannah Tyler.
Abstain.
Mrs. Griner. Aye. Mrs. Bailey.
Aye, motion carried. Okay, the next motion is our action items. Motion to approve superintendent employment contract.
I make a motion to table all action items on the agenda until the new board members can review it.
Second.
Okay. Discussion?
Since they were just presented their packets as they took their seats, I think that's only fair to let them get up to speed on everything that we be
And
discussing.
they can ask questions
Right.
and do
I
their
agree.
homework at the next meeting.
I wouldn't expect you to make a good decision without even looking at the things, so, okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Giddens.
Aye.
Mrs. Cagle. Ms. Catherine Reagan.
Aye.
Mrs. Val Reagan.
Aye.
Mrs. Savannah Tyler.
Aye.
Mrs. Griner. Aye. Mrs. Bailey.
Aye, and I do want in the minutes the 3 items that we are going to table, which is the superintendent contract, the speech therapy vendor contract, and the federal surplus property program contract, please.
What's the second of this thing?
Therapy, speech therapy?
No, the second did
Pam.
of the
Pam.
motion to.
Mrs. Griner did.
Okay, thank you.
IESB recommends not to do this on a reorganization. So we need to follow their recommendations.
Okay, board communications. We have correspondence. Mrs. Griner?
Yes, I have a thank you letter. Thank you for the plant and all of your thoughts. Also, thank you for the food and the time off work. And it's from Amber Cokington and Brian Despines in passing of their mother.
Next is the Iasb Dinner, which is kind of a new point now because the deadline was April 29th, so we've missed that. This was not a training meeting, it was more of a meeting to get input from the board members for future meetings, so. Moving on to executive session, I'm not sure how the board feels about this, since here again we have new members. Want a motion? It's a pleasure of the board.
There's nothing pending that we have to vote on tonight. Can we let them get brought up to speed? Is there?
At present, the only thing that we have that really needs to be addressed in executive session is the negotiations that are coming up that will take place before the next board meeting.
Well, but at this point, we don't have a negotiating committee formed.
That's correct. That's why you should, when we do executive session, ask us here, we'll come to the negotiation first.
Okay, what's your thoughts, from the board members? Do you want to wait until you can get up to speed, or do you want to muddle through it?
Is any of that, have you been negotiating?
There was one negotiation meeting, so another committee needs to be appointed.
And there's a,
Which needs to be appointed in open session,
there's a,
Yeah.
It does need to be.
not in executive session.
there's pending scheduled negotiation session for May 14th. That's pending and scheduled, doesn't mean it can't be canceled. So this is the board's time now to do something or to let it flow, and then I can contact Mr. Triggs and say that the 14th is not going to work, and
I'm thinking that I need to call another special board meeting next Tuesday to get everybody up to speed. This board needs to make some decisions such as the negotiating committee. I want to know if everybody wants standing committees or committee of the whole. So I would be for tabling the executive session until we can get everybody on the same page.
And that could be addressed at next Tuesday night's
Yes.
meeting.
Yes. Thoughts? We're on the road next Tuesday?
Yeah, something with my son. School. Sorry.
We have finals.
Finals.
How about Monday? Monday?
I'm good.
Okay. How about Monday at 6 o'clock? Right now, we need a motion for executive session, or do we want to just table?
I would take no action.
All right?
Here,
No-
let's special meeting.
Yes, that was all at 6 o'clock. Okay, no further action will be taken. I do want to make a comment. I want to congratulate the new seated board members, and I want to thank the outgoing board members for their service to the district. In that, I make the motion we adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Giddens?
Aye.
Mrs. Cagle? Ms. Catherine Reagan?
Aye.
Mrs. Val Reagan?
Aye.
Mrs. Savannah Tyler?
Aye.
Mrs. Briner?
Aye. Meeting adjourned.